everybody. Happy Tuesday. This is Hunter here. I'm here with the pride of Idaho, the man with a I was gonna say a big giant potato for a dick, and I audible for some reason, but
You still went with it though. I
yeah, I
love
did.
it.
Yeah, commitment.
I like it. Yep. You got to commit to it.
Unlike Michael Bay has for his scripts. Oh snap! But anyway, but I'm here
Talk
with
about no commitment.
yeah, there you go. I'm here with Scott. Scott, how you doing, my friend?
Doing good. A little bit plugged up today, but I'm gonna power through.
Well, you are a trooper, man. I
Hey,
appreciate
I'm a man of the people. You got to give them what they want.
yeah, and what they want is are more reviews, and we have a review right now for a movie that Scott. I was sitting there watching this, and I really was thinking, God, I wish I knew what Scott was thinking as I'm watching this. We're reviewing Beauty and the Beast, and so I think I've talked about this on the podcast before, but my very first movie I went and saw in theaters was Beauty and the Beast. I went
Boom.
Yeah, I saw it with my mom and my dad, and to this day is one of my favorite theater experiences. All these years later, um, I got super sick on movie theater popcorn and threw up. I remember that distinctly. Cause Hunter loves his Papa McCorn, as Patton Oswalt would say. So, uh, yeah, this is a huge memory for me, to be totally honest. So when I heard they were remaking this live action, I went, nah. I was a little worried, to be honest. And we will kind of delve into whether my fears were warranted. So if you've seen the original, so Beauty and the Beast has quite a track record with it. I don't know if you know, but it was the first animated film to be nominated for Best Picture. Uh, Back in 80, I want to say it was 89, I believe.
I
Uh,
think it might have been 91, but I
that
will
that
double check.
Oh yeah, that would make more sense because yeah, I think I was 4. Yeah, 91. Good job. Yeah, because I don't think I remember. I don't think I remember from when I was 2, but
Oh, sure. You got a great memory, Hunter. I'll give you that.
I do. That is true. But oh, see that I do. That is true. See musical. See that?
I know. I've been so musical all day long.
Yeah, but but the plot is really pretty much the same. Belle, played by someone in my top 5, Emma Watson. I love that woman. She plays Belle here, and so basically it's about her being this really. So I have not seen the original film in a while, and to be honest, I
Mhm.
I didn't rewatch it because I wanted to give this as much room to breathe on its own. Instead of
Yeah, honestly, I don't think I've seen it
Are you serious?
since. No, 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 no. I've seen it, but
Okay.
I don't think I have seen it since like since the first. I think I've only seen this movie once, and then like bits and pieces, like the older movie. I think I've only seen it like fully through one time, and then I'll catch it by chance a few minutes here and there earlier on, but like. I knew the song sort of, but it was like kind of just a new experience for me, to be honest.
Yeah. So I will say for me, um, so Disney's gotten very kind of fuck it recently in the sense that they're like, hey, we have the Jungle Book. Let's just remake that live action. Oh, hey, we have the Lion King that we're gonna do in a couple years. Oh, hey, we have Dumbo we're gonna do. I mean, like at this point, Disney is it's almost like Disney's playing a practical joke on everyone. Like, hey, we have all these movies that are cartoons, but we can make them live action, and we can make even more money because fuck you. That it almost feels like Disney is doing that. And so I don't. I saw Maleficent. I really liked it. I thought Cinderella was pretty good, not great. This I will say I enjoyed, but I did, but I'll say I didn't enjoy it maybe as much as other people did, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
So Belle, so Belle, played by Emma Watson, she is, kind of has her head in the clouds. She's very much a bookworm, which one thing I did appreciate from this movie versus the animated is that everyone in the animated film, it kind of seemed like everyone liked Belle, You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But this one, it felt like half the people were like, "Oh, she's great," and the other half were like, "Oh, this bitch," you know, coming around for fucking books and that reading and bullshit. Like, I think one of the hardest laughs I got is when she goes up to the baker and takes a loaf of bread off his tray, and he gives her this look like, "I should hit you in the face with a tray." Like she didn't pay him or anything; she just took the loaf. I was like, well, that's stealing. So technically, he has a reason to be pissed off. But that made me, dude. I was laughing so hard, and I won't even lie. I saw this in 3D with one of my coworkers. We were high as shit when we went and saw this. Dude, I was high. Oh man, I was beyond high seeing this movie, and I'll tell you right now, I was laughing so hard at points in this movie, and that was definitely one of them. Uh, so basically, her dad Maurice, played by Kevin Kline, who I fucking love Kevin Kline, Mr. Fishholder, as he's known for the kids on Bob's Burgers. Uh, I'm so happy he plays that role too. But he goes off to not to the market. He goes out of town. And so their tradition is, hey, you always get me flowers. And so Philippe, his horse, uh, gets cornered by wolves. They end up getting away, and they find refuge in this in this outskirts of a mansion, which unfortunately is ran by a uh, prince turned into a very scary looking beast who is not super thrilled that some old white man is on his premises. so it really becomes a love story of Belle trying to save her dad, offers herself as I almost said as tribute, but she kind of does. She kind of does actually. Now I think about it, she trades places with her dad and takes his place as uh, the Beast prisoner, and it's really about their love story. And then this really big bro named Gaston trying to fuck it all up. But I mean, I think that's the best plot synopsis you'll get for this movie. But I will say, going into this, Scott, what were kind of your feelings going into this?
Going in, I would say I have pretty low expectations, to be honest, because not a lot of these cartoon turned live action end up working. I did like Maleficent. Was it Maleficent?
Maleficent, yeah.
Maleficent. I like that one. But think I think I like this one better. Um,
Really?
yeah, I this is like kind of like going into it. Like I said, there are very few preconceived notions, and I liked being reminded throughout the movie of what the other movie, what the plot was, and you obviously know what's going to happen, but just the way that they build it and present it, I really liked. But yeah, going into it, kind of low expectations, just based on the track record. But yeah, I was bracing for pain.
Were you really? That's interesting. I will say one thing just right off the bat. All you people who are like, LeFou is gay. Oh my god, I'm not taking my child to see this. Shut the fuck up. And I cannot express that enough. Cause no, seriously, dude. Cause
That was so like beyond what like the main plot of this movie.
they hint at it kinda, but it's not.
Hmm.
But it's not like, like it's not. It's not like he's like,
Yeah,
you know,
it's
it's
Gaston and his gay friend.
yeah, it's not like he's like sucking Gaston's dick, like there's like a money shot or anything like
However much we all wanted to see it,
yeah, dude,
they didn't put it in.
yeah, I wanted, well, literally and figuratively, but I'll tell you right now though, when people were really freaking out about that, it just really made me sit back and go, why the fuck do you care? Like honestly, if anything, you should be more offended by the fact that Disney has set unrealistic expectations of men and women for like 60 fucking years. Like that's what you should be more upset about. You should be more upset about the fact that Emma Watson, in theory, is pretty much gonna fuck a literal beast, which would make it bestiality. Like you should be more offended by that. But people just love to fucking complain like, oh, gay people having representation. Fuck that. We can't. But you know what I
And
mean,
like
though.
in like the original fairy tale movie, like that's what you're focusing on, not the fact that like you're saying this chick is falling in love with this like crazy looking horn devil man. Like it's the priorities are a little off, I think, if you're going into it with that expectation.
No, it's ridiculous, man. And I know, and I was listening to Patton Oswalt the other day, who I know I've talked about him on the podcast. I fucking love Patton Oswalt. Patton Oswalt, good sir, you are a genius, kind sir. And it real he has this bit of stand up where he's talking about you have to acknowledge other people's beliefs, as opposed to respecting them because there is a difference. And I went, oh my god, that is so fucking true. Because it's when you go, oh, it's fine you believe that. No, if you think that LeFou being gay is in some way trying to warp your child, or it's Disney pushing the liberal agenda, kindly go fuck yourself. And I cannot stress that enough, because there's no point where I thought, oh man, they're just shoving in our
Not
face.
even close, and it wasn't even. It was more of like a nudge, nudge, like because the whole like one of the gags throughout the movie is that LeFou was like not at quite as handsome as Gaston, and like but he like really wanted to be him essentially. It wasn't like he wanted to be inside of him. He wanted to like he wanted to like
Yeah.
metaphorically be him. Exactly. So like I thought I don't know. I really enjoyed Josh Gad's character throughout this whole movie. He added like such a funny element to it that I think really it was needed, especially when you have like the douche of all douches in
Gaston.
Gaston, right? So yeah. I mean, I feel like that was completely blown out of proportion, and there was no focus on that whatsoever. It was just he was just wanting. It's like he was his best bud. It wasn't like he was trying to get in his pants.
So look, I mean, if you want to say like he was trying to get in Gaston's pants, I think if you look close enough, I mean, I think you can make that argument. But it was never like a thing where I felt like they were just hammering it home so hard that he's gay, he's gay, he's gay. Like, the Birdcage and the Road to El Dorado are way gayer than this movie is. And on top of that, it's a fucking musical. I'm sorry, there's gay people in musicals. Have you fucking seen Cats? Oh my god, this is gay as you can. This is as gay as you can think of. So with people freaking out about this, I just went, shut the fuck up. And I truly mean that. If you're listening to this podcast and you have a problem with LeFou, and trust me, if you go back and watch the cartoon, I mean, it's been a few years, as I mentioned, since I've watched it, but it is way gayer than you remember. I mean, LeFou's like sticking his ass out and twirling and shit. Like, it's way gayer than you remember. And this movie never, it just never felt like it was, slamming that home. So shut the fuck up, and I cannot stress that enough. But you're right. Yeah, Josh Gad will always be Olaf the Snowman to me. He redeemed himself off of Pixels, which was the last thing I remember seeing him in, and Josh Gad, goddamn you for doing that, making me sick of that bullshit. But he was great in this, and you're talking to someone who was raised on musicals like West Side Story and stuff like that, and um, in Annie, not that shitty Negro remake they did, but the original. Dude, did you remember that remake they did where they like
Yeah.
where they like niggered it up?
Mm.
Like just, oh, fucking hate that. Anyways, but this is a really good representation of, I think, the original source material. They definitely do tweak some things. So just kind of going down the line here. Um, Luke Evans as Gaston. I fucking love. He was my MVP for this movie.
He was great.
I thought Luke Evans was fucking fantastic as Gaston. He's such a dick. Like, you watch the movie and he's such a pompous asshole, and he probably says the most like relatable thing in this movie that I've heard in a movie in quite some time, where he goes, where LeFou's like, you have all these women following after you, like, why Belle? And Gaston just goes, well, it's the thrill of the chase, or something to that effect. And I went, oh my god, that explains like my dating life like perfectly. Thank you, Gaston. It's like, and so I
Well,
was,
it's like the fact they made it so real. It's like in this entire like fairy tale land that the stuff that they're talking about is like super relatable,
yeah, I
even
mean,
even as an adult.
yeah. So I mean, they did a great job of Gaston, and so I will just say my favorite musical number was Gaston. I thought it was so well done, and just everyone like dancing on the tables and shit, and them being in the bar. I thought it was perfect. Honestly, I actually gave it a standing ovation in the middle of the theater after it was over.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. You can ask my friend. I went, fuck yes. I was like, that was wonderful. Well done. I fucking, I loved it. I genuinely loved it. Now, kind of going down the line here, Kevin Kline, as I mentioned, is Maurice. I thought he did a great job. You don't get a lot of him, but I thought he did a great job. The other guy who I thought was as good as Luke Evans, well, there's actually two other people I thought were as good as Luke Evans. Ewan McGregor as Lemire, the Candlestick. Oh my god, I love Ewan McGregor so much. A young Obi-Wan Kenobi. Fucking love this dude. And dude, he did an amazing job with this. I had no idea he could. Actually, I take that back. I was gonna say I had no idea he could sing, but I love Moulin Rouge, so yes, I knew he could sing. But god damn, man, he did a great job with this. And a fucking like talking candlestick. I mean, good for him. You know, like I thought he did really good with this. What do you think, Jim?
Yeah, totally. I totally agree. I feel like, in what I remember from the cartoon is that the candlestick is like the centerpiece of the story, if you will. Ew. Which is kind of funny that he is like more of a main character and also a possible centerpiece. Anywho, I love Ewan McGregor, and it was kind of, even when spoiler, they turn human at the end. He's still pretty funny. But yeah, even both of those characters, and I feel like what was so challenging about this movie for them to make was like that transition from cartoonish, where they can do whatever they want and just kind of create their entire world, to live action, and they have to CG things and have to really mix it with the natural environment. I feel like they did it really well. Like, I saw it in 3D too, and it was like they really mixed it in really nicely throughout. But yeah, what did you think of the 3D? Do you feel like it was done correctly?
So I'll tell you right now, there's a point where I bent down to grab some popcorn, and I looked back up, and it was the Beast growling, like growling at those wolves. Scared the shit out of me. I was like, oh Jesus Christ, okay. I was like, whoa, Beast in 3D. But I thought the 3D was handled really well. I thought on the set pieces, especially when there were musical numbers, it really enhanced it quite a bit, especially the colors. Seeing Gaston in 3D, I thought was just so cool, and especially the last kind of like fight, kind of last battle, I thought was really handled well in 3D.
You had like the keyboard keys like firing right at you.
Yeah, I was like, shit, okay. Yeah, so I have to actually backtrack a little bit. So the Kill the Beast song was actually probably my favorite. Gaston was right there, but I remember that in the original cartoon, and it just gets really. It's like in Pocahontas when they sing that song, savages, savages. I was like, Jesus Christ, okay, this you're getting, like you're getting dark now, all right, But I love that song, Kill a Beast, and it really ramps up the tension. I'm like, oh damn, okay. So moving on from Ewan McGregor's Lemire, Sir Ian McKellen as a Cogsworth. Oh my God, Magneto. Come on, like what else do I really need to say? Sir Ian McKellen did just a hell of a job with him, and just like in the cartoon, Cogsworth and Lemire's back and forth really elevates the movie quite a bit for me, and because it's fucking Ewan McGregor. Oh, I'm sorry.
Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Apparently, I'm fucking 4. Ewan McGregor. Ewan McGregor. They spell out your name in popsicle sticks. But Ewan McGregor and Sir Ian McKellen. Oh boy, it's gonna be
Sir Ian McGregor,
so, no,
the one and only.
Okay, it's Sir Ian McKellen. Shush.
I know.
But they played off each other really well. This is where I'm gonna get to someone I did not like, and that was Emma Thompson's Mrs. Potts. I didn't like her.
What? How could you not like Mrs. Potts? Mrs. Potts and Chip were like probably the most adorable part of this movie.
I'm sorry, I just didn't like Emma Thompson's Mrs.
Boo.
Oh, whatever.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah, I
What didn't
mean,
you like about her?
she just, I think that Cockney accent, it just didn't work for me.
Mm.
And maybe it's the fart that the fart. Oh my god, I'm falling apart. It's the fart. It's the fact that Angela Lansbury, Murder She Wrote herself, did such a great job with it. Like in the original, I just couldn't
Yeah.
separate. I couldn't separate myself from it. I just didn't like her. Her.
I mean, because that's what everybody's doing. They're constantly going back and forth between the original and this one, which I thought was to my advantage because I hadn't really recognized a lot of them. Especially like, I think the songs were done really well. I felt like I was watching the cartoon. Like the intro scene to the movie, I feel like was like a great homage to the original cartoon, and they were able to just like really mimic it, but without being like this is totally just unrealistic. Which at certain times it was, but I don't know. I also like the Be Our Guest number, which was actually done really well.
Oh my god,
Um,
I love. Okay,
Especially with the 3D. The 3D was pretty cool, that one.
no man, there's this point where Lemire is like looking right at you and he says, "Be our guest." And I went, "Fuck yeah, I'll be your guest." Like I was little. Dude, okay, look, like I said, this is one of those movies that's up there with Terminator, 2 Judgment Day, Silence of the Lambs, 7, like those movies when I think of what would be my, defining 20, movies that just inspired me to love cinema the way I do. The original Being the Beast is up there. That movie just, again, just being the first movie I ever saw in theaters, but it blew my mind, and I still that would be my top 5, if not my top 3 Disney movies of all time. I genuinely just love that movie, and so to be honest, man, there was nothing this movie could have done to really tell. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
really had to kind of be fair to it and say,
Check
okay,
yourself.
yeah, exactly. So I just I don't know. I had to try to separate myself a little bit from it because I realized it couldn't win. It could only go so high. Unlike me, where I would be willing to give it, a little rope. I will say though, Nathan Mack voiced Chip. Chip had me awing so many times. Like when I saw Puss in Boots and Shrek 2, I'm like, oh, you're so cute. Look at you, little
Yeah.
teacup. Like,
For a teacup, he's pretty damn adorable.
yeah, I mean, yeah. So, no, I mean, he was so cute, and so I'm gonna throw it back to you here quick after I say this one last thing. My biggest complaint probably about this movie, um, the Beauty and the Beast song in the ballroom. I didn't like it. I really didn't like it, and I just sat there and went, "Oh, that's upsetting." Like I didn't like it, man. So yeah, what did you kind of think of that? Because that's a pivotal scene in the cartoons. Like, what did you think of it?
Yeah, I feel like they were just kind of trying to mirror the original movie, be like, hey, remember this kind of a deal. But I mean, I guess they were the whole. You could argue they were doing that the entire movie. But I, I don't know. I didn't mind it. I didn't. There's points throughout this movie there I'm like, if like kind of like you were saying, if I didn't have these like ooey gooey feelings for this movie, the original, like would I still be critiquing it as harshly or not as harshly? And I feel like that could be one. It's like not necessarily a genre that I like nowadays. Like, I'm
What?
even like
What? Do you not like gay people, Scott? Is that what you're
keep them off my television screen.
saying? All
I
right,
feel
Trump.
like
All right, Trump voter, tone it down.
um so yeah, I feel like the scene was fine. I just like at certain points I was like, I'm not like always super stoked about seeing musicals, like in general, like musical. They're just not really a genre that I draw to. But I don't know. I feel like this did a great service to the original one. I feel like that ballroom scene was kind of a piece of that entire picture. I feel like it. I don't know. What did you not like about it specifically?
I just, first off, I thought it was short. That was the other thing. I thought
That is true. You're right about that.
I felt like I blinked and I missed it. I was like, oh shit, that was quick. And I remember this is such a
Is it because he didn't get to second base? Is that why?
yeah. There was no Beast hairy dick going into White. Okay, I'm sorry. The wheels are falling off here. No,
Reel it in, reel it
yeah,
in.
no beast dick and girl pussy. It's just fucking hashtag disappointed. But but, come on Disney, push it. But I don't know. The scene just seemed like it ended way too quick.
And I would even say that like I was joking about it, but I feel like nothing did really happen. Like she just kind of like left. Like she sets it. It's kind of. I would say it's anticlimactic. I think that I could agree with you there.
That's a good word for it. And Emma Thompson, like I know she can sing, and I don't know. It just her singing, it just didn't feel powerful like with this.
Do you know if that was her or not? Do you know if everybody did their own singing?
Yes, I believe everyone did their own singing.
Okay.
So I mean, I I was trying, man, because I really like her. I really do, and I just was sitting there like, well, it's just not clicking for me.
I would say that she is like serviceable in this movie. Like I feel like she fits a stereotype about whatever people think Belle is supposed to be, and she's kind of like blonde in this too. Belle's like hardcore brunette. Anyways, I feel like you could have used like a few different actresses to play this role, then would have done just as good of a job. I would agree. I don't feel like she wasn't the one that took this movie like over the edge.
Yeah, and I feel like Angela Lansbury, um, I really feel like she was a little more loving towards Ship, and I just kind of feel like I felt the relationship a little more. Like I said, whenever Ship was on screen, I was awing like a motherfucker. I won't even lie. I would have, if you put me in like a pet shelter of all these like cute puppies, I would have awed more. I was like, oh Ship, oh, like I could not help myself. But yeah, the relationship just didn't work for me. And then probably my biggest complaint outside of the ballroom was the Beast himself. I know they've done this on Broadway before, and obviously they're using practical effects. So when they said they were going to do the CG for the Beast, I went, oh, okay, they're going to make him kind of move like he did in the cartoon and be more animalistic. They really didn't do that at all, and I kind of thought, what was the point of having the Beast in CG if you weren't going to take advantage of it? So
Yeah, he was kind of like he was definitely had a lot of human features, I guess, but he was kind of more of like a devil character than like a beast. I don't know. I would agree with you. Feel like they could have definitely went a little more over the top. Although I would say if they did that, I feel like there's the danger of going too far to where people it's like so unrealistic that a girl would fall in love with this animal that it was just too unrealistic to believe, if that makes sense. I feel like you have to bring him down to our level, just like to the point where to make the story believable.
well, I remember this one scene specifically from the cartoon where the Beast is asking Belle to come down for dinner, and I remember because he goes, she's like, "I'm not coming down there." He's like, "Well, then you're gonna starve." I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like, but I remember that freaked me the fuck out as a kid. I remember even watching it a year or so ago, thinking, "Wow, he is angry." I never was afraid of the Beast, if that makes sense. He always felt he did.
Except for the wolf scene.
Yeah, outside of that, I was never afraid of him. And
No, they well, yes, but I feel like that was also carried throughout the storyline where everybody's talking to her about him. He's still pretty cold-hearted throughout it, but there's points when there's like they're reading, like he's showing her the library and they're clearly like falling in love, and it was just like you're not intimidating at all. And which I don't know if that was the point or not. I feel like maybe that was the purpose was to make him more human.
yeah, I mean, I feel like that takes away from the turn that he's supposed to make
Hmm.
about halfway through. So you need to be afraid of him, so when he does start showing sympathy
Right.
that you go like, oh wow, that's powerful, and I never got that with him. So
That makes sense.
um, so I don't know. So the thing is, and I got into an argument with a couple of my coworkers, and they were like, in a couple of my female coworkers, I was like, how did you not love this? I'm like, no, I did love it. I just have these gripes that I think are fair gripes with it. You're talking to, Disney owns Marvel, so you're talking to the Marvel boy here. I'm always made to, suck that beef stick, suck that Marvel dick, and I just, so there were some things that I saw here that I wasn't super crazy about, but I'll be honest, those are really my only complaints. Was there anything else you kind of wanted to add as far as things you didn't like?
Um, there were times when you use so much CG throughout a movie, it becomes you're more likely to like slip up and not pay attention to certain scenes. And I feel like you could kind of tell through some scenes that like they got maybe a little bit lazy. But I liked it. I didn't think I was gonna like Emma Watson as Belle, and I didn't mind her. She was like she played a pretty good like strong woman character, kind of like a fearless woman character. Um, yeah, I mean, I I don't know. I feel like I surprised myself with how much I like this movie. I think a lot of it had to do with just like the um, probably just nostalgia factor, and I feel like I can recognize that probably played a decent role in me liking this. But I feel like they executed, and I was laughing genuinely through the majority of this movie. Like I feel like they were making kind of like smart humor at points, and even throughout the songs, they kind of went. Even this is a PG movie, they catered kind of towards the adult. How Disney movies are. They've got the
True.
kid jokes and then kind of the adult type jokes. But I feel like they kind of nailed it there. I don't know. I really liked it. What are your? I'm interested to hear what your final conclusions were on this.
I will say, I really did. I know some people are like, God, he's gonna give us like a C. Like I feel like we've switched roles here. This review, honestly, I feel
Yeah, I think so.
like I feel like I'm being so like
I feel like I would usually not like this movie.
yeah. I mean, God, you theater queer, but I'm kidding. But I don't know. I really did enjoy this, and I left. If a movie gets me to stand up, give us fucking standing ovation. I mean, Jesus Christ, like I at least I at least enjoyed it enough. So I had fun with this. This will definitely be something I buy when it does come out. But uh, is it as good as the '91 version? No, no, it's not. But is it something that I think you can show people who, because I realize that came out in '91. There are some kids that are probably younger who maybe haven't seen the '91 movie. So I mean, if you
Hmm.
wanted to show them this, maybe to prep them, maybe, or even show some theater classes. Because the way this is shot, this is directed by Bill Condon, who, outside of doing two Twilight movies, which I'm sure he got paid well for, so I can't hate on you for that. But he did Gods and Monsters, which is a great fucking movie. He did Dreamgirls. He directed Kinsey. He directed.
Wrote Chicago, which is pretty great.
Yeah, he actually directed Mr. Holmes, which we never reviewed, but I would give an A to, and that's Ian McKellen as Sherlock Holmes. He's done he has an amazing body of work. So when I saw that he was doing this, I went, oh, that's great. So I'm really happy that he got this and that he did so well with it. So I mean, kudos to you, sir. I really I really thought he did a hell of a job with this. So
All right, what do you think? Tell me what's your
I
grade?
I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna give this solid. Ooh, and I feel like sorry.
You've been struggling with this. I asked you to bring it up because I can feel you struggling with to decide a grade on this one.
Because I'm going back and forth and like, so I'm gonna give this shit. I'm gonna give this an A minus. I
Wow.
think it's a great movie. I just but the problems I had with it, I just can't overlook them. The ballroom scene, honestly, if the ballroom scene had been handled better, and they had done a little more with the Beast as far as kind of how he acted, I would probably give this a fan fucking tastic. But after the ballroom scene, I went, oh, I can't give you a fan fucking tastic just off that alone. It just sunk me, to be honest with you. But and we didn't talk about her enough. I don't think Emma Watson did a good job with this. I thought she did a really good job playing Belle, and she has this innocence about her that is just, I don't know, that's so pure almost. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
she's
she's very definitely like a naive kind of innocent girl.
yeah. I mean, so
Yeah, yeah.
I
We all we all
I,
see where this is going.
I'm happy that you know that you're like, all right, Hunter, you don't need to say it.
I'm gonna stop you right
Yeah,
there.
I will Patronum all over her, but
Yeah.
but come on, Harry Potter reference, come on,
Yeah.
but I I really did enjoy this though quite a bit. So yeah, A minus for me. Scott, your final thoughts before
Yeah.
your grade, sir.
Yeah. You know, the way that I've been talking about it, you think that I thought this movie was fantastic, but it wasn't. I just feel like I was it exceeded my expectations over and above. Like I feel like everything fit together really well. Like it wasn't like too mushy or like over the top um, princess and prince story. I like the way that they kind of brought you up to speed on like how they got there, and the songs were all really tight and well done, and the CG was actually done pretty well in most aspects. I feel like the character, like Josh Gad, was funny throughout the entire movie, and Kevin Kline, and I really like Luke Evans. I feel like he really brought it all together. But yeah, I agree with you. I'm gonna give this a A minus.
I'm shocked.
I I I left the movie thoroughly enjoyed, and actually I would this is a movie I would definitely recommend to other people, and that I didn't think I would leave the movie saying that I would recommend it to somebody else,
Yeah.
but it's it was done really well, and I feel like it was a great homage to the first one, and um I don't know, it's just the way it was from beginning to end. I just feel like they did a great job. Just kind of like a side note, like in the the way that it starts, you have like the Disney logo, how all Disney movies start with the castle, and then it like kind of backs up into
Yeah.
a rose bush, and that's how it like starts. And so I feel like you can tell they took their time on this to like really make sure it was done right, and I think it paid off. And I mean, it paid off. It definitely, it's made like 174 million the first opening weekend. So, I mean, it's killing it.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, it almost seems like redundant at this point to go ahead and even. You know what I mean? Like it almost feels like redundant to say like, oh, Beauty and the Beast, like Disney movies are doing well. So,
Hmm.
as of today, Beauty and the Beast has passed $400 million worldwide in what 4 days?
Wow.
Less than a week. So I mean, so like 5 days technically if you since it started Thursday. 400 million already. Like it's ridiculous. It really is. Like what the fuck else can you say except that Disney's at the point where they're practically on cruise
They,
control. Like
they should like, why haven't I feel like we should be hearing stories like in the paper, like instead of like, oh, Trump is being tied to Russia in the 2016 election, it should be like Trump is tied to Disney because they have so much money that they can tell anybody what to do. They are raking it in right now with just alone with Marvel and Disney. Like they've got the formula, they know what they're doing. Disney just killing it. I don't know what you would think it's gonna stop, but they keep trying. They must keep the same. They must have like a big like a huge vat in the back where like Walt Disney's brain is still being suspended and like ideas are being like churned out like every day and like oh yeah this is great Walt this is good stuff like they're right. It's got to be something like that because I don't know how to do it.
No, honest to God, man, I'm sitting there watching this movie, and I just really had to sit back and go, wow, Disney has this so down. It's not even impressive anymore, almost, because we take it we take it for granted. I think that Disney is so good at making great films that we just go, oh yeah, it is another Disney film, like whoop de doo. But I mean, but honestly, we have to give Disney an immense amount of credit for just the incredible fucking streak they've been on. So, uh, yeah, we agreed on the rating. Holy shit, that hasn't happened
Yeah,
in
that's awesome.
it hasn't happened in so long. Oh my god, but 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 I'm almost disappointed. I'm gonna give it a B plus now. No, I'm kidding.
No, you son of a bitch.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But guys, what did you think of Beauty and the Beast? You've probably more likely seen it because they're in the box office totals. But guys, let us know what you thought. Comment in the comments below. Let us know what you thought of this review and what you thought of the movie. You can follow us here on SoundCloud at the Real Pineapple 775. You can follow us. You can like us on Facebook at the Real Pineapple. Follow us on the Twitter at JHunterRealPineapple, or follow me on Twitter. And you can follow Colin, our comrade who's overseas, and I think he's in London right now. Jesus
I think
Christ,
so. Yeah.
Colin, we love you, buddy. At the Real, that's REEL O'Neill, and you can follow Mr. Scott here on Twitter at.
Them in the first.
Guys, thank you so much for listening. We'll have reviews up this weekend for our Power Rangers, which
Go
is
go Power
which
Rangers.
which is getting decent reviews so far.
Dude,
So
that's so awesome. That makes me so excited.
so I hope it's good. I hope it's good. Come on, Power Rangers, be
If
good.
we get a good Power Rangers movie, I'm just gonna like morph into like my 10-year-old self, and I'm just gonna be like, this is the best day ever.
Well, remind me to give your 10-year-old self some candy, but
Oh
any
my,
but
you dirty son of a
I
bitch.
know, I know. I got something you can morph into, but guys, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Peace.